Hey, is that Igeu Kabesa?
Yeah, it's definitely me.
Hey, what's up? Igeu? How you doing?
No, I'm good, man. Shit, don't mind me. I'm just having some biscuits, man.
No, it's all good. All right, guys. Well, let's hit things off right off the bat, right here, guys. Welcome to the second episode of the Punchline Podcast, and today's a real special episode as we have invited both Igeu Kabesa as well as Anicet, the showstopper Kanyeba, to join us on tonight's call. And of course, for those of you guys who may not know, the fight has been cancelled. The fight has been pulled and is no longer taking place at EFC 89 this weekend. Terrible news indeed. Of course, we are waiting for Anicet to head up onto the call and maybe join us here on the podcast. But Igeu, what are your thoughts on not being able to compete this weekend? Obviously, you've been putting in the work. You've been excited for this match, wanting to redeem that loss of yours. What's going on in your head? What's the plans from here, man?
So basically, first things first, I'm irritated. And hello to everybody. Just don't mind me. I'm hungry. So I'm just irritated with the fact that I had to put my business on hold. I had to put most of my personal life on hold. There's more to just fighting than preparing. There's other stuff also that plays a role that takes an effect when it comes to us preparing for fights and whatever the case is. So not competing this week kind of irritates, because now they want me to fight on the next card, but now also it makes a person think twice. What's the chances of that fight being cancelled? Because the guy's also from overseas, and us knowing guys in their visas and knowing EFC not bringing athletes back into the country, whatever the case is. So it's just a bad thing, man. It's irritating, and as much as it's a bad thing in terms of Anicet and his health, at the same time, for me, it's just irritating. It's holding me back, People like him that are his age or whatever the case is, EFC needs to start looking at maybe slowing them down or, cutting them off so that we don't have such things of guys pulling out of profits. And because it costs money to be in a training camp. It costs me so much money to prepare for those fights. I don't even think I was going to make the money that it cost me, so yeah.
No, well, actually, it's no laughing matter. And of course, we are waiting for Anicet to join a call, of course, so we can also ask him, exactly what has transpired, what is the feedback from EFC to him. And if anyone can tell us, it would be Anicet. But of course, while we are waiting for him to join the call, we can also ask you a couple of things too. Thinking about it, the past couple of your fights that you had were all against international opponents, right? We know that Cole Hennon, for instance, his last fight didn't materialize because actually two Brazilians pulled out due to COVID restrictions and COVID issues, and then sometimes you might encounter visa issues and such. So those fights are never guaranteed. You'd think that they put you up against someone like Anicet, who's a local fighter, who's a fan favorite as well. That was just kind of like a breath of fresh air. You could go up against Anicet. You guys know each other very well. And it would have made for a great fight. The fans wanted to see it. I wanted to see it myself. And I'm sure you were excited for the prospect too, to put your skills on display. And now that's not happening. So with EFC telling you that, of course, they're looking at another opponent, have they thrown any names your way as to, who they want to put you up against at EFC 90?
Yeah, no, they have thrown a couple of names. I think out of all the names they've thrown out, I think the Jadison Costa fight, that is the name that actually caught me. I know Jadison from when I was still an amateur. I used to train with the guy. So with me training with Jadison from that time at a young age, the guy himself, and growing to become the person I am today. Fighting him would be one of those, I'm fighting like an icon type of thing, someone that I used to look up to, So
Yes.
that would be a good fight. But also, with the restrictions and, all of these things that's also in place, we never know if he's going to make it. But I told him if that's the case, I'm going to fight Jadison, let's make that one happen rather than any other fight. So that was the
Sorry, Igeu. I've actually seen it on Instagram. EFC has made an official post there, obviously stating that Anicet's out of the fight, and they were actually hinting at Exxon too. Exen versus Kabesa 2? Have they mentioned it to you?
Yeah, no, that one they didn't mention it to me. We roughly spoke a lot about Jettison. The Exen fight was not brought up to my attention. But if that's the case, I mean, definitely I can never say no to something like that. Redeeming myself with this guy, proving to everybody that what, it was a slip up, and those things, So I'm in a position whereby if they're gonna give me that belt again, then I'm definitely gonna jump in there. I'm gonna take it back. But even if they bring parts, I'm happy. I'm happy to fight anybody. Like I said, anybody, anywhere, anytime.
So let's say, for instance, you will be facing off against Ronaldo Exen a second time. How will your preparation leading up to that fight be any different to the camp that you had prior to fighting Exen? Would there be some things that you would change in relation to maybe the weight cuts, training methods, maybe game planning a little bit better, knowing what you know now, obviously, or how do you see this playing out?
To be honest, when fighting Exen, the first time preparing for him mentally, I think we did the right thing. I think physically we also kind of did the right thing. I think we only got wrong with the weight cut, and also not competing for some time. I think my timing was just out in terms of everything else, But I mean, the biggest thing is that I think we're gonna focus on when we do get the fight, when we do get to sign for the fight, will definitely be the strength and conditioning will be something we'll look into. Change up the diets a little bit. And also just making sure that we're getting a lot more sparring in, just get the timing right, Someone anybody can make a mistake in the cage. I mean, it's all a matter of saying you make one blink and you don't see it coming, you get caught. And it's just one of those things, So
it's always the ones you don't see coming, eh?
It's always the ones you don't see coming that catches you, it puts you down. So I think the biggest thing right now is literally just making sure that we're getting our timing in right, because I don't think skill wise, I don't feel like he's got that much of anything, I think he just got lucky with the last one, and he caught me in a position where I haven't competed in a long time. My timing was a bit off. And at the same time, it's just part of the game. You lose some and you win some, and you get an opportunity to redeem yourself. You best take that opportunity and make it count,
Definitely. And so listen to this, right? How does this sound? Igeu Kabesa, 3-time featherweight EFC featherweight champion of the world. How does that sound? 3 times. That has never been done before, where a guy's actually gone in, lost the title, went back and reclaimed the title, lost it maybe, and then reclaimed it again. I mean, that would be a record in itself. And is that something that you would maybe want to, is that a goal of yours maybe? I mean, that will etch you into the history books of EFC pretty much from now until forever.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I started fighting, I started fighting and I made history, I was the first Congolese. That was one. I was
sorry, Igeu. Let me cut you off there for a second. Sorry, Anicet has just joined us. Anicet, are you there? How's it going?
I'm there. Honored. Everything it's okay, brother.
Okay, how's it? Sorry, man, Anicet. We were just talking to Igeu, of course, for the past few minutes. Getting a feel for obviously how he's feeling. Igeu, Anicet, how's it going? Igeu, you say hello to each other. What's good?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's it, Anicet?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, and you, man? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling disappointed of EFC things. I'm just feeling disappointed because what they are bringing now is affecting people's career. Like a fighter, like a pro fighter. What they are bringing now is not good. It did affect me. They even talk on the social media, Anicet pull out, whatever. We are there on Monday for media day. We did our media day. They even give me a contract I signed. Remember on my private fight against Ilunga? You remember?
Yeah.
They take me off the issue of medical or stuff, whatever. That's why I'm talking to myself. I don't know if you must consider those things of brain scan, because I did for brain scan. After brain scan, they send me to another doctor who they say is number 1 for the brain. And when all the results was perfect, it's where I did fight Ilunga. And then it was on the weekend of the fight. After that, they give me like I need to go for concussion because I did concussion test before the Ilunga fight. I did it, everything was perfect. But there's the doctor, Daniela, she's the issue. She's the one who coming now and he say, your brain, whatever. I'm like, why, if you know my brain was like that, why you guys let me fighting? You know, I fought, what is that? I fought 5 fights. Because on the 19th, on 2019, I did my brain scan. After 2019, because you always do those things after 4 years. After 2 years, I did another one. I'm like, I fought just now before lockdown. That was my last fight. I fought 5 on the road. The doctor, the result was like, you are good. You're gonna go for brain scan again in 2023. Yeah. Becoming an issue. On the weekend of the fight, I'm fighting on Saturday. The way in is on Friday, but I was going to the test Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, until on the Thursday. It's where the fight is becoming confirmed. I cut my weight on one day. I cut today. Tomorrow is way in. It's affect me mentally. I was not strong because they bring stories, and after that, it's fine. I have all the results at home. I have it myself. I have all the results. All the results. All the doctors.
On my side, Anicet, they gave me a call not too long. I think around about sometime that time. And the first things when they told me that there's something wrong with the brain scans and whatever the case is, and they said the doctor said that you should never fight again. That for me, because I know who you are. It didn't just affect me in terms of the fight. It affected me in terms of a person also personally, because now I know for a fact that you are a fighter, and that's how you earn your bread. That's how you make your living. So when I told that to my wife also, and I told her, listen, Anicet, he's out, and he's not just out, but he's out for forever. It became a bit of a problem for us, because now we're gonna sit and worry, how are you gonna make ends meet now? Can't fight anymore, Is it something like that? Is that something, what they said, is it a true thing? Is it something that might change in the future for you, or is it something that is your reality from now on?
No, I told them like this. They make me to sign it. They make me to sign after my private fight. I need to go to see the doctor, but I can't go to the doctor because they need to book appointment for me. I didn't see any appointment. I just get one call from the lady. She said, no, I need to do a concussion test with you, but over the phone. I'm like, I'm waiting. After that, she never called me anymore. Until now, it's where I went to that medical they sent me. And that medical was not so, it's a computer. If I'm slowly fighting, I'm fighting like that. I'm not working with computer. Computer is another thing. Let them bring somebody who passed in the computer, put him in the cage if he can be fast. You understand what I mean? And then I can't follow up because I'm not gonna pay for those medical aid. There is them who they are paying those for medical aid. But I said I want to fellowship, I must keep calling them. How am I gonna call you guys? Because Anicet need to pass here because it's them who gonna pay everything. And then from there, tomorrow it's where I receive the call. Like Anicet, you're no longer fighting because you felt those. What test are you taking me? You didn't even take me to the machine. Nothing of me or on my side. It affects. Now I'm afraid of everything. Now with me, I want to take it to the courts because I take it to the courts. Why? Because I want to sue all those hospitals. They are giving me fake results because the machine say you are fine, but a human being like this, because she's a doctor, she's telling me you are not fine. And then all those two hospitals, they are lying to me, which means I need to take them to the hospital, to the court, like risking my life, because I know I'm right, because I have all the proof. Right now, me and my sponsor, he read a book for me tomorrow. I'm going to another hospital, which means all my sponsor is booking for me. I'm going tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going there. I'll get that result and I'll get all the three results.
If you don't mind me asking, Anicet, how long has EFC known about the situation at hand?
No, they said just before EFC, the fight I was fighting Ilunga. They say where I was everything on my brain, but they take me to brain. The brain scan gives me the result like you are fine. After the brain scan, I go to another doctor. The one they put some cable on my head, like it's something. It's new. It's passing on the computer. That doctor, he said to me, "How old are you?" I told him I'm 41. He said, "No, your brain look like a child of 29 years old. Your body." And
I
then
think
now,
Anicet is like the youngest 41-year-old I have ever seen actually in EFC. Like you won't even say Anicet's 41 years old. Come on.
Yes, you understand. They said that, and then they said because Graham said the doctor is the number one in South Africa. What about Daniela? She's just starting now. She's more than the guy. He doesn't have experience. You just look at like you say, no, your brain is damaged. The person who's the doctor went to his office, who did everything. He took me to the computer. He said, "You are fine." But him, Daniel, she didn't even take me anyway. She said, "No, you're not fine. We need to clear you."
Basically, what you're telling us, Anicet, is that Daniela, the ex EFC women's flyweight fighter, is the one that is doing all the tests for you right now with the brain scan and everything.
Yeah, she's the one, but she didn't take me to any hospital. She didn't take me in. She didn't even consider me to call me, like, come to my office, let's do this. She didn't even do any test on me. But she's talking what is coming to her man.
So basically, she didn't do any tests on you, but she's saying something. She's saying that your brain is not 100%, but she could not do any tests on you.
Yeah, based on what does she make that?
She didn't even test me because she just looked at my brain scan. Yeah. I'm like, oh, come on. Those people, those doctors, they say you are fine. They have experience on their work, and you telling me they are not telling you the truth. Which means those hospitals, they are lying to me. They are giving me fake results. You understand what is my point? Which means I need to go to those two hospitals. Like, you guys, you are lying to me. You're making my life on risk. Because I can get problems.
Just a quick one. So I think tomorrow you mustn't go do the test tomorrow because I'm already eating biscuits and coffee here.
Igeu's already putting on back that
I'm already putting up weight. I was on weight already. Now I'm putting up weight now.
No, EFC told me already that we are fighting the next EFC coming in October. Before that, next week EFC they're gonna book me with Dr. Ali. I need to go the fellowship there with Dr. Ali. That's why I say, okay, I'm happy with them. There's no problem. But the problem is affecting like all the effort, all the money I spend for medical, for HIV, for corona, everything. Who's gonna pay that money? Because I done everything.
It's the exact same question I'm asking myself, and he said the exact same question. You know, we spend so much money on going to the gym itself. We spend so much money on eating right. You spend so much money on all of these things, you know. So who's paying that money back? How are we getting that money back? Because at the end of the day, whatever EFC was going to pay me for this fight, trust you me, I've lost that more than that. So you understand, financial wise, I think I'm taking a big knock. Let me talk for myself. I'm taking a big knock in terms of the fight being cancelled. That's one. Two, I've got sponsors that don't want to pay anymore. Three, I don't know. I'm not even confident that I'm gonna have another fight in the year coming in October because I don't know if the next person's gonna pull out, and if they pull out, who's gonna be the next option? You know, things like that. So I understand where you're coming from. Also.
Guys, I just want to cut in there quickly. Both Anicet and Igeu, of course, and I'll start with you, Igeu. You have just recently actually introduced a new sponsor. Or Bad Boy has obviously sponsored your previous fights and such. And coming across sponsorships, you know, is difficult as it is. How is the sponsors, you know, making sponsoring you guys for both you and Anicet actually, and then only to hear that you guys are pulling from your fights? I mean, that doesn't reflect bad. That reflects badly on you guys because now the sponsors might also pull from you, and they're you losing some financials as a result.
Well, Mike is a thing. This is what happened. is that they definitely not happy with the situation. You know, at the end of the day, they were expecting full time, expecting marketing on social media, they were expecting marketing out of social
Just
media, things like that. So, from a sponsor's perspective, I understand where they're coming from. You know, because at the end of the day, it's still business. We agreed on a certain thing. But personal wise, I still feel like this is shit because now I'm just not losing out on money from EFC, but I'm losing out on money from sponsorship. I'm losing out on future sponsorship from them. You know, they could just be like, Igeu, you are a risk. You know, we can't sponsor you because you never know who's going to pull out, you know, things like that. So I'm in a position whereby it's a bit difficult because I've taken out my time from other things and invested it into the fight, and only to find out it's not going to pay out like it should. So that means that I've just drained time and money, you know, for the last couple of 6 weeks that I was busy training, you know. So sponsor-wise, it's difficult to. I mean, I spoke to the guys from Bad Boys, I mean, not too long ago, and explaining to them, telling them what's going on. They were also not so happy, you know. And it's just one of those things, you know, that once the sponsor's not happy, a lot of things are not going to go well in terms of the sponsorship stuff, you know. So that means I need to go back on the drawing board and start begging again for the next sponsorship. Hopefully they don't throw a curveball at me or something like that, you know. Whereby you're not going to even put a foot in and be like, guys, listen, it's on us, it's not his fault. Let's find a solution to all of this. They're just leaving the hanging, and you hang by yourself, and you have to find your way up in these pools again.
Yeah, and Anicet, back to you now. Anicet, of course, you have been on such a tear. Oh, sorry, the background noise is a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Anicet, so you know you've been on a tear. You've been fighting so many fights. I mean, I recall back when you were fighting and you were calling for a title shot, and it just feels to me as a fan, as a spectator, right, that you've been fighting so many times and you've been winning your fights, and it would feel that EFC would put guys against you who they hope you would actually lose against, you know, and you would bend yourself backwards basically to actually earn that title shot. You eventually earned the title shot against Anicet Kanyeba, who himself hasn't actually been all that active in any case. Now, unfortunately, at that fight, everything going on, the odds were against you with the fact that, of course, you know, these medical situations, Conrad, of course, in the background, not being able to corner you that night and things like that. So it's all leading up to this point where you get your title shot, you lose the title shot, right? Which was still a competitive fight. I mean, people were talking about Anicet Kanyeba, you know, he's going to be winning by TKO, his kicks are deadly and things like that. And you were holding your own, you know, and now for it to happen like this, it must be disappointing because you just feel like you're working and you're fighting and all for nothing at the end of the day. Do you feel that EFC has dropped the ball?
Yeah, like you know, like you say like that. On my point, you remember in EFC, I was keeping winning. I win 3 on the row. I saw people win 2 on the row, they go for a title shot. I win 3 on the row. I win 4 on the row, they never give me a title. Until I win 5 on the row. And they try to push, they even give me, they are not on my category. They give me welterweight. They give me catchweight. Like just to pull me, I must not get the title shot. Until I got the title shot. Until on the day of fighting, they start bringing me the medical issue. Now, it's another one, another partnership as well. They bring another issue. Why they didn't even tell me those situations a month ago before the fight? Why they're telling me on the weekend? Because for me, media day, they didn't even tell me nothing. They didn't even tell me nothing.
That's the question I had also.
Yeah, they give me they even give me the paper of my even sign for the fight, which means I know I'm fighting. And on Tuesday,
this is on Monday, eh?
Yeah, it was on Monday. They give me on Tuesday. I was going to the gym to train, like just to break a sweat and start cutting weight. It's where I found out like I'm not gonna fighting. And they did post it only today. Why they didn't post it before last weekend? Why they did everything now? Even my sport Esquire, he even called me now, like to tell me, bruh, I'm sending you money for your transport, for your traveling everywhere I was going for sparring, Johannesburg, everything. Now there's no advertise for me because I pay money, and then why?
Sorry, Anicet, we lost you. We lost you there for a second.
And then you think a sponsor like that, next time you will come. It's gonna be a problem.
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Hello? Yeah, you understand? It's affecting sponsorship. You understand? You know, sometimes there's no good sponsorship.
Yeah.
And EFC, we don't get money we deserve. The money we are getting there is not the money we deserve. We're not getting good money. We're fighting because of love of sports.
Yes.
We'll fight because of love of sports.
My whole thing is that if you can also pick up the phone and talk to the sponsors and tell them, guys, listen, this is the issue from our end, because if they at least they can also interact with the sponsors. I mean, maybe that way the sponsors will also have an understanding of what is actually going on, because now they're just leaving us on the edge. They're not saying anything. And with them not saying anything, or they're just announcing that the fight is being cancelled, and then everybody else must find their feet, it becomes a problem, because we are not looking at sponsorship for just today. We're looking at sponsorship for the future. We still want to fight for a very long time. I mean, I'm only sitting at 27 now. I wish I could be sitting at 40 and still fight. So it's like a position whereby they need to understand that we're in this for a long run and not a short. So they can't just throw a curveball like that and expect that.
On that point, guys, I just wanted to check in quickly with you guys. Like, EFC is obviously modeled on its international counterpart, which is the UFC. Okay. And of course, the UFC has got something that South African markets don't really have, and that is, of course, a pay-per-view system. You show the events, they earn pay-per-view money, they make their money and such. And I would suppose that EFC is making money from their own sponsors, which would be like your Super Sports, your SABCs maybe, or whoever broadcasts it, right? So this is the thing. EFC will milk it for as long as they possibly can, all right? And advertise the fights as going ahead. And then it feels like they're pulling out on the fights like the day of the fights or a few days before the fights and things like that. Surely their sponsors, whoever's sponsoring like Super Sports and those guys, also cannot be happy with the fact that, they are sponsoring the EFC for certain fights, and then come fight day, there's like 3 fights that have fallen through. And then they make it out to be the fighters' fault. It's the athlete's fault, or it's their problem.
Okay, Arnold, there's one thing I can say. Between me and Kabesa, we are famous, and people they are fighting now. You understand? A lot of people they are coming to view. They're gonna watch those fights because of Anicet Kanyeba, because of Igeu Kabesa, because we are people who making a lot of fights to be happy at home. If they know Anicet's fighting, he's gonna bring show. He's gonna finish his fight. You understand what I'm saying? That some people they are coming there, they don't give even nothing. They are just there they must see them on TV. But as we fighting like proper fighting. How many fights I finished? How many bonus I get in EFC? How many fights of the night I have? It's a lot, which means I'm something in the EFC. And about 24 fights in EFC. There's no respect on EFC. They don't respect us like athletes. There's no respect like I can see in another division like UFC. Like I'm a legend in EFC. There's no respect for me. There's no respect. They take me just like.
Well, Anicet, you're 100% right. I'll actually attest to that. I feel the same way, and I've been telling Igeu as well that Igeu, for the record that he has, and for being on top for so long, I feel that oftentimes you guys may be overlooked, and Igeu had to struggle so long to actually get a fight. Then you would see people fighting almost on a regular basis. You get people getting undeserved title shots even. Whereas this would be in other weight categories, maybe like your welterweight division, middleweights and so forth. A lot of the belts the belts get held up by international athletes as well. They go back to their countries with the belts. We couldn't even go and award Tabani with a title at the end of his fight, because all the EFC titles are being held hostage, with other guys and whatnot, which I feel is very unprofessional. And my thing with that is that I was telling Igeu as well, they have to put respect on your name. I mean, so many fights, You've got wins over guys who are in the UFC. You've got wins over guys who are represented in Bellator, for instance, you know.
Yes.
You are struggling to actually go to UFC because maybe you don't have a good management team behind you, okay?
Yes.
So if you don't have the good management team behind you, then the onus would be on EFC to give you the platform to excel, to actually be able to go to the UFC and such. You know, like they would put their efforts behind somebody that they choose as the cash cow, and be like, they would create like a hype job behind them and hype them up and send them over to the UFC and back them. Like Dolce has been fighting now the past UFC events, and you see posts like, oh, congratulations Dolce and good luck to Dolce and such. Now, surely we could see that with a lot of the other athletes in the EFC as well. You know, if they were just given a chance. I can think of a lot of exciting fighters who don't want to fight anymore because it's not lucrative for them to fight in the EFC, you know, and they lose star power.
To be honest with you, Arnold, when it comes to fighting in general or fighting for the EFC, at this current moment, it's now becoming a hobby, you know. So basically, the reason why I'm saying that is, when I was still wrestling was like a career, was like a sport for me. It was like a thing that I do because I enjoy it, and you know, it made sense in my life. And then the fighting became my career, and it made sense to fight anyway, you know. So now fighting is no more. It's not a smart thing for me to do anymore. You know, it cost me just to sit down and think about all the work I've lost out preparing for those fights. I've been sitting in a different position right now, you know. But because I chose the fight and I put work on hold, now I'm sitting in a very bad boat, you know. And worst thing to find out is, hey, your fight's cancelled. You know, it's a bad thing for me financially. It's a bad thing for me personally. It's just bad.
Yeah. And Anicet, you don't have any other side hustles or businesses that you can fall back on. You literally, this is what you live for. You are an athlete and you fight.
Yeah, right now, basically, what I'm doing is only sport. Right now, I'll start. What I must do. I can go back, maybe working because I finished my studying. You understand? I go to school. What? Because I love sports. But the issue I'm facing now, it becoming so hectic. Either I must go back to boxing, to do boxing because I love sports. You understand? Because on my side, I know I still have long 5 years because of my energy, because of the age on my age. But what I'm doing, some another people, young boy, they can't even do it. You understand what I mean? But the problem is, like you said now, people from UFC fighting, let's send people in UFC. You know how many wins I have in UFC? Those people, they go to UFC. I have only my win is more than their fighting. All my win, I have 13 wins. It's more than their fight. And I have 8 knockouts. You understand? It's more than their fight. But they are pushing them. I don't know why. Maybe they are meeting somewhere, their body, whatever. I don't know what.
Do you think it becomes a case? Do you think it becomes a case of like, it's not what you know, it's who you know, and it's not necessarily how you perform, but you know who you are friends with, essentially, that can get you in these high places.
Yeah, it's friendship. It's friendship because they know each other. Maybe they are meeting after training, after event. They are meeting at the club, drinking, restaurant, whatever. They're becoming a body. It's where they are favorite. Because as we meet with them, we meet with them. The time of the fight on the venue is finished. Besides that, we don't.
Yeah. Now, what Anicet is saying also, that I think it's really true. You know, I mean, if you just look at everything that's happening in the country itself, you know, the nepotism, you know, all of those things, people always look out for the ones they know before anybody else. It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how fantastic you can throw a jab or whatever the case is. You know, it's all about who you know, and how the sooner you can get into it, the faster you can get out, the more money you can make, and what's in it for him, you know. So if you think about it, if you have to win a contract with the UFC, they'll probably first get you a tap on the first 3-4 fights. After the second contract, they're not going to be able to do anymore. That means that they're not making any money anymore, and they've lost me, you know. By the time I'm done fighting in the UFC, I will never come back into the university because I will die. That's the thing, you know. So it's not that I don't feel with somebody like myself. Because, I mean, you know, I can fight at the league and I can keep boosting them with my skills, and that is that. You know, at the end of the day, we gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, I've been sitting here waiting for you to, as they say, you know, we're gonna get you there, way before even Doucher was saying there, you know. When they saying Doucher there, they were like, hey, listen here, we're saying we got Doucher to go through, we're gonna work on getting you there, the sport back on board, you know, things like that. And you still sit in your way. This is us talking now, what, 4 years later? And it's one of those things, you know, you sit down, you start telling yourself, you know what, first the person starts looking out for themselves and not waiting for others to look out for you, you know? It's just one of those things.
And all right, we're reaching the... Yeah.
So one thing I want to say now, EFC, besides to go to brain scan MRI, telling you on the map which one they prefer. Because I go to the brain scan, they don't believe. Now they prefer what? Don't go to the brain scan. Daniela, she must talk to face to face. It's where you'll be confirmed to fight.
Let's set it up, guys. Let's maybe arrange for something like that on weigh-ins.
No,
you understand? Because they don't believe brain scan. They believe in the weight of Daniela.
Yes.
What I think we should do, Arnold. What I think we should do, Arnold. I think that we should do is contact Daniela. And I'll probably get her on the line, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow or during the weekend or something like that. And just find out in terms of Anicet itself. I'm worried for Anicet, not just because of the fight. I'm just worried about his future as an athlete. Worried about someone of his caliber. Someone who's over 24 fights in the UFC. To be honest with you, I think there's a few fighters in the UFC that's got that. If I can count them in my hand, probably one for Pardon. It's probably more fun started, and I think it's Anicet, right? I've got three in my head. The only people I know that's got over 25 in the EFC, you know. So someone like him can't just go down like this, you know. I think we can get Daniela and find out what is going on there. I mean, that's the only person who could probably contact in terms of sports doctors and stuff like that.
And I don't know before we let you go, and I know you're very busy, and of course I can hear in the background it's very noisy there. I just wanted to find out, do you have a last statement that you want to maybe give to your fans, the guys who were looking forward to see you obviously compete this weekend? You know, what can we look forward to? You know, if anything, are you going to be taking it further, or what's happening? What's on your mind, Anicet? And just give us a brief message there.
Okay, my message I'll give to all my fans. I apologize. It's not me. I wanted to fight. We're fighting because we love sport. On the sport, you have two things: win or loss. You understand? We be there and perform, give people show. People, they must look at those two athletes. They are fantastic. They are fighting good. They give a lot of kind of things like that. But let's see if it's gonna still be it's gonna still wait. We're fighting on EFC 19 in October. They already posted in Facebook like EFC. Anicet is fighting, and that's this weekend. This week, I'm going for their doctors, but tomorrow I'm going to also my doctors. I'll keep my results, and their doctor, as soon as you bring the results, and we compare, and we take it from there.
Can we ask that if you do get the statements and such, that you keep us updated, Anicet? You're welcome to DM us, obviously, the results and such as well. And of course, we will also be contacting Daniela to maybe get a statement from her side as well. And then we can take it from there.
But I'm not going to Daniela. Dr. Ali is the one who's... Yes, we know it's Daniela. Even on Friday, I went to another lady. She's an Indian. She's the one who consulted me. But she said, the result, you take it from Daniela. How come you are the one who consulted me, but the result comes from Daniela? How is it possible?
Yes. So Anicet, but we will see you again on Friday at the weigh-ins. You've got teammates obviously competing still and such. So I guess we see you on Friday, right? Okay,
I'll be there on Friday because I want to speak to Gaem and Caro because I already signed the contract. I need to get money. I spend my money. I need to get money.
And Punch Drunk Podcast will be there to obviously cover the goings on and bring you guys the scoop obviously as well. Anicet, it's been a pleasure chatting to you, my friend. Anicet, we'll let you go, and then I hope you have a good evening, get a good night's rest, of course, with regards to all that's happened and whatnot. But thank you so much for making time in your day to actually have a chat to us.
Okay, thanks, Arnold. Thanks, Kabesa, the champ. Okay, I'll see you guys.
Okay.
Okay, you two guys. Okay, bye.
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 Yeah,
Well,
so there we have it. There we have it from Anicet himself as to what went down, and it does not really paint EFC in the best light. Not really the organization itself, but I would say the inner workings and such, because it's just cost two great athletes, the possibility to fight and put on a show for the fans and whatnot. And yeah, man, it's a bummer.
Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks a lot. Now a person has to juggle their life around again. It's been a juggle before. Now it's more of a juggle again. And it's funny how all these juggles a person's life is getting into. It's not even caused by myself. It's caused by other people.
Yeah, it's external factors.
Yeah, it sucks. I'm just feeling a bit more bad for Anicet side, in terms of the whole medical story. If all of this is true and he can't ever fight again, hey man, it's gonna be a long, tough road for him. At the age of 41, starting afresh is not gonna be easy.
My thing is, boy, Igeu, and come on, we've seen Anicet fight so many times, right?
Yeah.
Have we ever seen him really get rocked in his fights, or I mean, the last time I think I saw Anicet getting knocked out was actually that clip I sent you yesterday was against Andrew Buerta, and it was like way back.
Yeah, but yeah. That's the thing also. That's the thing also. I think sometimes more it doesn't come down to being clipped hard. I think it's just the amount of punches you take in the career. I mean, sitting at 24 fights at the age of 41, you ask yourself what other fights were there before these 24 were counted, and then you just add all those strikes to the head, strikes to the body, and his age, and all the training that he puts himself into in training when he gets punched in the face, all of those things. The weight cut takes a toll on your brain and your body, so all of these things you counter a big part. You gotta be smart at the end of the day. I mean, as much as he says he's feeling alright and he's feeling good and whatever the case is, I mean, I'm not saying that all of this is true. All I'm just saying is that, I mean, doctors are kind of good with what they're doing, and when it comes to your brain, it's a sensitive thing, 41 years and still competing at like you're 20 years old is not a joke,
But it's all speculation on our side. At the end of the day, we don't know. We're not doctors and such, obviously, and of course, we're just having this conversation, to let the fans know, obviously, what's going on and getting a little bit of feedback from both you guys. And at the end of the day, I feel that maybe we should just get like a thorough explanation. We've obviously heard Anicet's version, and if you were to believe Anicet, it sounds like there was a discrepancy between EFC's doctors and of course the neurosurgeon that of course neurologist, that Anicet's been to, so there might be the discrepancy as to what's going on. I mean, for all we know, maybe there is no fault with Anicet and such. I mean, he's had the issues, but we'll have to wait and see. But I just thought that it's best that we maybe get you guys on the line and have a brief discussion, let the people know what's going on. It's always good to know these things and to get into the minds of the athletes themselves and what they're going through and such. We need to be able to relate, obviously, to you guys as well, because at the end of the day, all the athletes taking part in EFC are all humans. At the end of the day, they all have to put food on the table. They've got families that they go home to and such, and it is an important thing. Like Anicet said, this is his bread and butter. This is all that he does. He's not like blessed with another business on the side, like other people may be. So I really do. I wish him well, and I hope that things can get resolved. Of course, I hope that EFC can give you the matchup that you deserve, obviously, as well. And we'll see. I feel from my side, Jadison Costa wouldn't make sense because, where has Jadison been for so long? And redemption at your title, getting another crack at the strap would be fantastic, of course. But yeah, also in saying that, Vo, I mean, it's pretty much a quick turnaround time. It's like a month or two later. So I don't know which way they're heading, but of course, the goal would obviously be to get you back into title contention as well.
Yeah. No, I think it's for me right now, as an athlete's perspective, I just want to fight, but I don't want to say I want to fight and then when it's time to fight I get such news. I don't like such news. That's one. And another thing, such news just it hits someone's pocket hard, man. I think people don't understand how expensive it is actually to be an athlete, and at the same time they don't understand what has been paid to us to actually be doing what we're doing. It costs more money to be a fighter in the EFC than it actually should be. I mean, if you think about it, we're getting paid in shares, which is all good and well, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to become part owner of EFC. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be an owner of EFC. If I wanted to do that, I'll probably look at other channels. I want to be part of EFC because I want to be an athlete. I want to fight. I want to perform. I want to show my skills, and I just enjoy the competition, but also make it worth my while. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna do it. I'd rather go do something else where my time is gonna be appreciated, and at the same time, it's gonna be worthwhile. So
do you also feel, Igeu, that knowing what we know now, and of course, something like this doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up one day and say, oh well, this guy's not fighting anymore. So I would believe that EFC maybe knew about it a little while longer. Do you feel they should have maybe secured you a backup fight, so that you can still compete actually?
It's the thing. I'm just feeling like they did know about this for some time. And if they did know about it, they should have gotten someone, or they should have told me the moment they found out, so that I could save myself all the stress of cutting weight. Cutting weight, whether you're cutting 5 kilos, whether you're cutting 15 kilos, 10 kilos, whatever the case is, cutting weight is cutting weight, and it takes a toll on your body. I mean, I was 500 grams out to making weight, and I get a call of saying, listen, you're not going to fight because we can't find anybody for you, and at the same time, you guys got a brain fucking problem. So I'm sitting here, I've already dieted so much, I already put so much on dieting, I already cut so much weight, I did so much, and my body is literally feeling like shit. I mean, I was telling you the other day, listen, man, fuck, let me put my phone down because I can't deal. My hands are shaking and stuff. So they could have saved me all that process, and I would have been like, okay, at least I'm gonna save a couple of something. But now they made me go through the whole process, and only when I'm like literally by the door and I want to go in, they're like, no, listen, you can't come in, your opponent is not here. It's a problem. They should have let me know the moment they found out, and say, oh, even if they say, listen, Igeu, Anicet's not going to be able to fight, we're still looking for a fight for you, give us 3 or 4 days and then we'll get back to you, so I can know where I'm standing, type of thing. Man. But the fact that we're being told about it, you get told on 0.99, I mean, that way it makes a problem for the sponsors, it makes a problem for my life, it makes a problem for my family and everything like that. I mean, I can just imagine so much time that I've spent away from my kid, from my wife, from home, and now it's like all of that was for nothing, Now, if I have to look at my wife, it becomes a difficult goal, telling her, listen, I'm preparing for my next fight, and then she'll be like, listen, are you going to even fight? And then, it becomes a problem in the house also,
Yeah. So, Igeu, well, thank you so much for joining in, of course, tonight and getting your points of view. We'll see you, of course, on Friday at the weigh-ins, of course, as well. And before we say goodbye and such, I'm sure you're going to be stuffing your face with the most treats that you can probably lay your hands on. Is there a message that you might have for anyone out there, your fans and such, people who are excited to look at this fight over the weekend? What words do you have to them?
Well, first, I just want to say thanks to everybody that follows me, that enjoys what I do, that just, gets inspired for what I do and how I live my life. So I just want to say thank you to all of those guys, and sorry about the fight not being happening. I wish it would have happened. It would have been awesome. Fighting someone like Anicet is an amazing thing. He's an icon of sport. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. But we will see for the future in terms of his brain scans. Hopefully he recovers well. And yeah, just thanks for everybody that follows the sport. Then they just put effort and time in making sure that us athletes are being validated. And yeah, thanks to you also for making this thing happen, the whole podcast thing. And I can't wait for us to have many more.
Yeah, 100%, Igeu. Well, guys, you heard straight from Igeu, not so smiley Kabesa, because I'm sure he's pretty upset at this point. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's been real. I'll catch you guys on the flip side, of course, and be sure to follow us on Instagram as well as on Twitter and the like, so you guys can keep up to date with the latest episodes. Have a great night, guys. Thank you, Igeu. Keep well, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.